business owner is one of the hardest and most fulfilling jobs anywhere. For over a decade, I have owned and operated a retail music store, the one job that uses just about everything I have ever learned. While some of this knowledge came from a classroom, I have no business degree or management certification. Over the years, I've developed philosophies and strategies that have allowed me to assemble and manage a team of more than 2 dozen people and grow my business into a regional powerhouse. There have been big wins and bad beats, but every day there is a new lesson. I'm Drew Holmes, and this is my playbook. Well, greetings and welcome to the Playbook. This is the video series where I give you some insights into some of the strategies that I use and lessons that I've learned along the way of owning a retail music store. And today, the topic that I really wanted to talk about was invoices. I know it sounds really, really boring, but trust me, this is something that you really need to know about. I have a product-based business, so I'm buying products that I don't manufacture and then reselling them. And there are some things that you can do to make sure that you are getting the best deal possible. But the first concept that I really want to talk about is making sure that you're getting the right stuff in and that everything is in order. And what am I talking about with that? Well, there are three parts to reconciling an order. The first thing is what you ordered. So this is the stuff that when you go to the manufacturer, or even if this is someone that's providing a service for you, what exactly did you ask them for? And then the next step to that is making sure that that's what you actually got. So typically, what I'll get is a packing list, and we will reconcile the packing list against the physical goods that are in the box because there tends to be discrepancies. Now, the issue with this here is a lot of people stop there and they think they're right. That is completely incorrect because the next step there is making sure what you were actually billed for. So there are three parts to this. So it's what you ordered, what you actually got, and then what you were billed for. You got to make sure that all of those are in order because I've seen mistakes every step along the way there, and it's amazing some of the things that you're going to find with that. So now that we've kind of talked about what's going to happen with reconciling your orders again, whether it's a good or a service, let's look at a couple of invoices here that I've got so that we can see what I'm talking about. So we'll do a quick little screen share here. And so knowing how to read your invoices and what your different terms are vitally important. And I've redacted on these invoices. Some of these are things that the manufacturers wouldn't want me to share, and that's fine. This one's one of the most basic ones possible. It's just got terms, net 45, that's it. You've got your goods, you've got your freight, and then you've got your amount. What that means, if you don't know, net 45 means 45 days from the date of the invoice, it is due in full. And a lot of places will have penalties and things like that on top of it. Just make sure you're not falling into that trap. The next one that I want to show, this is where things start getting interesting. So 1% 10 net 30. What does that mean? You get a 1% discount if you pay within 10 days of the invoice date, but the net amount is due in 30. Now, the crucial concept that I'm really trying to convey here is the discounted price is the real price. A manufacturer or a service provider wouldn't be offering that to you if they couldn't afford to. So anytime you're not taking a discount, these are called quick pay discounts. Anytime you're not taking one of those, you're leaving money on the table. And there are reasons not to take quick pays, but you want to do that as often as possible. So what we're looking at here is 1% 10 net 30. Another one that's very common from this one, where is it? 2% 15 net 30. So 2% discount if you pay within 15 days, net amount is due in 30 days. Now, the trick with all of this too is you're not including freight in the discount. I don't know anyone that's going to discount your freight. So in order to calculate how much to pay, you need to back that out. And you can see what I do here. These are paper invoices that have been scanned in, and I will actually write on them the amount that I need to pay, what the category is, that's what goes into my checking account ledger, and then the date by which it needs to be paid to get that price. So that way there's no doubt on all of that. Well, the way that I calculate all that stuff, actually, one of our best friends here is Excel. And I've created an Excel calculator. So let's say that my invoice is a total of $150. Freight is $20. And my discount is 5%, which would be fantastic if that was true. I've created this calculation. You can see it right here. that will calculate that all for me. So it will actually take the invoice total, minus out the freight, uh, calculate the discounted amount, add the freight back in, and give me the total. And then I always throw that FYI there for the savings just to see. And sometimes, especially like in February, when you hit the end of the month, you're going to wonder, what is 15 days, 30 days, 45 days? So I've created a neat trick here on this. So let's say that the date on the invoice was April 1st. So 0401, oops, yeah, I got to put my year in there, 040122. And I get 45 days. So I created here, and you can see this calculation up here, discount days for, is it Excel is powerful enough to do this for you. So if you enter in a date and add days onto it, so I do sum B8 plus B9, and then that will give me that calculation there. So super simple to do, super easy. Use Excel to your advantage. I use Excel sheets all the time. I create custom calculators just like this all the time. It is truly invaluable. If you're not using that, then you're just creating more work for yourself. So if we come back over here, let's go back to our screen share. So that's how I get the dates on things like this. If I don't have a calendar in front of me, I'll just go over to my calculator tab over in Excel. Next one. Same terms. This one's a little more interesting. So this one is 5% 30, net 90. I do a lot of business with schools and government institutions and things like that. And a lot of my manufacturers will give me special deals if I'm bidding something into a school. So again, if I'm not getting that 5% 30, I'm not going to be able to bid the lowest possible price on this, and I'm probably not going to get the order. So these quick pay discounts are crucial when I'm in a competitive bid situation, which I don't like competitive bid situations, but that's a different story altogether. And then we get into some really interesting stuff. This one is kind of a tiered discount. If you can see it down here, I'll zoom that in a little bit more so we can see exactly what we're talking about. Um, Up here on the term, so it's 7% 30, 6% 60, 5% 90, net 91. So you get a 7% discount if you pay within 30 days, a 6% discount if you pay within 60 days, 5% within 90, net 91. So if you're not taking advantage of the 5% 90, you've really left money on the table because it's due the next day anyway. And this particular manufacturer does a lot of that math for us, which is nice. They'll tell us the date it needs to be received by and the discount you can get on it. Again, these seem, percentage wise, seem like small deals, but this stuff really adds up. And so if you're ordering hundreds or thousands of dollars of stuff from a manufacturer over the course of a year and you're not taking these quick pays, you're really doing yourself a disservice with your cash management. Then we get into this one, which is fantastic. 10% 90, net 91. Now, these tend to be school terms again when we're dealing with institutions. So what this is telling me is that the 10% discount is the real price. And if you go one day over that, the convenience charge for you, meaning the penalty, is 10%. Don't fall into that trap. Save the money. I mean, on this one, this item was almost $3,500. 10% is almost $350. That is a substantial savings. This next one here, again, this is kind of a tiered discount. So 5% 45, 3% 90, and then net 120. So this is one that's kind of neat that if for some reason your cash flow isn't there in 45 days, you get a second bite at the apple at 90. The discount isn't quite as good, but at least it's something. But again, you truly, truly want to avoid hitting the net due date if there was a discount that's just, again, doing yourself a major disservice. And then this particular one, there's no discount per se on the goods, but this is school bid net 120 free freight. So the advantage on this one is the time that they're giving me to pay. 120 days to pay something, that's 4 months. I mean, that's a third of a year, which is really, really nice. And they're picking up the freight, and any more freight is not cheap. You can see here, freight represents, I mean, that's probably about 8, 9% of the total invoice. That is not a small amount. So this is yet another one that it's definitely worth taking advantage of. And this one here is one that I would call a structured payment. So this is something if you're ordering a large amount of inventory that is going to be returning you money over time. We do a lot of rental instruments and things of that sort. And so if we don't have the cash on hand to pay for that outright, being able to structure those payments over time as we're getting paid for them makes a ton of sense. So this isn't a discount per se, but this is allowing us to manage our cash. And again, this manufacturer has been nice enough to tell us the due dates. Now, I'll caution on this if you're dealing with stuff like this. A lot of these places don't do the calendar in a smart way. So some of these dates are going to be non-business days. So you got to make sure when you're scheduling your payments that you take that into account. But yeah, if you're in a position where you don't have almost $8,000 sitting around as of May 5th, then taking advantage of the structured deal can make a lot of sense. I will say a lot of places that will offer you structured deals will also offer you a quick pay discount, even if they don't officially offer one. So if you're in a cash position to avail yourself of that, ask. The worst they can do is say no, and rarely will a manufacturer say no when you want to give them more money faster. Trust me on that one. Then we get over to some interesting ones too. So these are open account terms that I've been talking about. We have a couple of manufacturers that will take credit cards. And this is one that's kind of a hybrid. That this is an open account, so it's 30 days, net 31, CC plus 3. So basically, you owe them within a month. That's fine. But if you pay them by credit card, you're taking a 3% hit. Uh, if you haven't dealt with being on the receiving end of credit card processors are going to take anywhere from 2.5% up. The closer you can get that number to zero, the better, because that's a convenience charge just out of your pocket. Credit card companies charge that much because of all those rewards cards. So when you're swiping and you're getting your cash back and your miles and all that, well, that's actually coming from the merchant and a little bit off the top from them. There's no way around it. The credit card companies are going to get their pound of flesh. You have to pay it. But you don't have to pay this. So this is basically a merchant passing on the savings or lack thereof to you, and by hitting you on the 3%. And if their processing is only 2.5%, they've just made 0.5% off of you because you decided to pay with a credit card. And the last one that I wanted to show was one that was really interesting. I love this manufacturer and I love paying with my credit card with them. So the terms are credit card 2.25% discount. So they're not penalizing you for paying with a credit card. They're actually giving you a discount when you pay with a credit card. Now, what that tells me is the people that they're used to dealing with are not the most reliable in paying them if they give them open account terms. This manufacturer wants their money in hand right now, and they're willing to give you a discount for paying on a credit card to do it. Typically, if you weren't going to take a card, you'd have to take a prepayment check, COD, that kind of stuff. That gets really, really cumbersome. So you figure they're going to give you 2.25% for paying on a credit card. Plus, they're going to take about a 2.5 to 3% hit on processing fees right there. So they're essentially taking a 4 to 5% hit just to get paid today. That tells you that the price that they are charging you has already been inflated to take that into consideration. So keep that in mind, what the real price is with that. So anyway, that's kind of my expose behind the scenes of invoices and cash management and the way that I try to get the best price possible for the goods that I'm then going to resell at my store. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below, message me, like, share, subscribe, and if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know, and I'd be happy to accommodate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching my playbook. If you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my other channels and content, for there is always a lesson to be learned. If you have a comment or suggestion for future content, please leave it below and I will do my best to accommodate. I'm Drew Holmes, and this has been my playbook.